Pachad business, but it's in Siman Daled, so that's got its own shoes. We're going to start from 4 lines down on the top. From the top, last 2 words. Yada asusya. Person puts his hand above his, like in between his nose and his on his lip by his nose. Yada asusya darga lepachta. So that's a step in the direction of pachad. Now, I don't know if this is a ruach ra inyan. Rashid Bam says 3 lines down, 4 lines down. Sulam, it's like a ladder, v'derech, and a path. Who la alei love pachad, to bring a person fear, ruach ra. Okay. Now the Gemara continues. Yada apusa, if he puts his hand on his forehead, darga l'shinsa, so that will get him to fall asleep. But it's saying, we learned in the rice. Oh, here it is. Food and drink under the bed. Even if it's covered in an iron chest. Ruach ra sheira alav. There's an evil spirit that dwells upon it, and therefore you're not supposed to have food or drink under your bed. The Indian, maybe because when you're sleeping, so you hit 1/60th of death. So that's not Tumas Meis Mamish, but it's Me'ain of that, and that is Shaira, that will go onto your food. So therefore, you're not supposed to have food or drinks under your bed, which is not a problem for most of us. The only problem is the only place that actually is an issue is in camp. Because where else are you going to keep your food? And it's a problem. You should not keep it. I don't think it asks your food b'diavad, but you shouldn't. You're not supposed to keep food under the bed or drinks. Okay. Yeah, what's up?
I'm wondering if it's in a box, like the kids put in a.
Afilu mechubim b'kli barzel.
Right.
I mean, this is pretty intense. Ruach ra shayra alav. Okay. Mashal would be if you'd make an oihel.
Too much goes up. No, it doesn't go down.
Because if it's not a chaitzis, it's I don't know how it works in hilchos oil. That's why they what? No. You could put like they did on Har Bayis. They put the domes. If you put it in the dome and they build on top of it. But I don't know why. Because you're right. The meat itself should be a machitza. Should be an oil. So it shouldn't be an issue. But it apparently it is. So it doesn't work like that. So yeah, you just don't put food and drinks on your bed. That's it. Tanabana. Lo yishte adam mayim. Leila b'leile reviyos v'leila b'leile shabbosos. A person should not drink water, not on Tuesday nights and not on Friday nights. V'im shasa, and if you did, damei b'reishai. Your problem. Mibnei sakana, because this is a sakana. My sakana. What sakana we have to deal with? Ruach ra. This is a ruach ra issue. There's why it happens on Tuesday nights and Friday nights, I don't know, but those are the nights that it is a sakana. Oh, the Rashbam adds 2 words there which are game changers. The Rashbam b'leili reviyos, he says beloy ner, if it's dark. If you don't have lights on, if there's no lights on, so then you should not drink water on Friday night or Tuesday night because of mazikin. Because of ruach ra. It's interesting. What?
Didn't say it below Shabbos because it's probably assuming you'd have lights.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, then I'm not sure what the diak is. The diak is that even on Friday night, it's even if you have a candle, it's a problem. I'm not sure. It didn't seem like that from what I was reading. That it seems like it's going back on both, which would mean that the issue would be, this is interesting because this is a ruach ra issue. We saw before that the mazikin don't like, the mazikin are the ones that don't like it when it's dark. We didn't see that about a ruach ra. That ruach ra is also an issue only if it's dark. But that's what seems like in the Rashbam. Therefore, if you have a candle, if you got some light on, then you're okay. And maybe you could see what's in your water. I don't know if this is like something you could see or not. I don't know. What happens if you're thirsty? It's Tuesday night and you're thirsty. So what do? Maita Kante, what's it for him to do? So the Gemara says, Nema, let him say Shiva Kailis. Let him say the 7 Kailis. Shamar David Alamayim, that David said, starting with water. V'hodonishi, and then he can drink. Shenemer, Kol Hashem al Hamayim, Kol HaKohirim, Hashem Hamayim Rabim. That's 1. Kol Hashem B'Koyach, Kol Hashem B'Hodar. That's 3. Kol Hashem Sheva Arazim, Yishav Hashem Azaz Al-Banayim. That's 4. Number 5. Kol Hashem Chitziv L'Havis Eish. Number 6. Kol Hashem Yachol Midbar, Yachol Hashem Midbar Kodesh. Kol Hashem Yachol Layel Yizvech Zevoiz V'Echol L'Kulayim Kavod. So these are the 7 kailos that David said, starting with, they weren't all said on Mayim, but the first one was said on Mayim, and that is what you should say, and then you could drink your water. That takes care of the Ruach Ra. All right. Says the Gemara, the Eloi, if a guy doesn't say this, now why wouldn't he be able to say that? Why wouldn't he, what's the issue? So it could be because he doesn't have a siddur. Can you say that Baal Peh? So maybe the guy doesn't have a siddur, or it's dark and he can't see it. Maybe he knows it, but he doesn't know it by heart, and therefore he needs a siddur, and it's dark because it's B'lai Ner, so he doesn't have one. Whatever the issue is, he is not doing it. So is there something else he can do? So where it says, Ne'em Achi, let him say the following. And this is a lachash. Lul, Shtafan, Anigrain, Anirdepan. Those are 4 names of shedim. So you say, these are the guys who like the water, I guess. So you say, Ben Kayach, I'm amongst the stars. Ben Beli Shmini, there are skinny people here, there are fat people here. Azulna, go to them. Okay. The Eli, and if you don't have anybody with you, I'm sorry, if you're not going to say that, you don't like to say Lach Hashem. So then, if there's somebody else around, need Are, you can even wake him up, and say to him. This is what you should say to the guy. Planya bar planta. That's your name, the son of your mother's name. Tzachina, Mai is thirsty for water. Then you could drink. Because then the shedim think that you're with other people. You're talking to somebody, you're mentioning names, your name, a woman's name. So he thinks there's a whole crowd here, so he's not going to be mad. That won't be. He won't bother you.
Didn't we see last night that only one of the shedim was blind? One type of the shedim, the rest are not. So why would that trick them?
Good kasha. I don't know. It's dark. That's what I thought. The Eli, and if you're not going to do that, then mekarkesh nachtama akatzba. Take the cover of the pitcher and bang it on the pitcher, and then then you can drink it. Maybe that's also to make it sound like there are more people around. The Eli, and if you don't do that, then nishdi ba'midi, throw something into the jug, and then drink it. All right, so those are some eitzes for drinking water on Tuesday and Friday nights in the dark if you're alone, or even if you're not alone. Okay.
Why do we? Well, it sounds like before we said we're not talking about shedim now. It sounds like over here shedim, but it said ruach ra. But before ruach ra, we do bring that for halacha. I'm asking, is ruach ra shedim? If it is, then why did we bring them the halacha before?
Great question. I don't know. I don't know the difference between shedim, ruach ra, or mazikim. I don't know. You're right. Some things for ruach ra we're makbid on, but the ruach ra also have names. They do. They're ruach. It's a spirit. So it's. I think it's a ruach ra. It's an evil spirit. So they have names also. So I called it a shade, but maybe it's a ruach ra.
Maybe someone related, and I know I came late. But why are we only concerned that a couple of the nights?
I don't think the issue is you coming late to this. I'm just. What do you got?
Why are we only concerned on certain nights? Because
I don't know.
The whole thing with
not be able to have water that's kept open. It was a nightly.
That's Gilui. That's something else. That's a different issue. That's for venom, snakes drinking from your food, putting venom in that. That's a different issue. No, I don't know. The Gemara calls why? Yeah, it's a guy. I saw he actually on the side over there. He talks about why we're not makbid on this thing. It could be you should be, and then he says that I don't remember. On the side there, it says something about why this thing we're not makbid on. You should be, you shouldn't be. Yeah, it does deal with it. It's a good point. A fair point. Okay. Turn Rabbanan. Rabbanan taught in Brisa. Lo yishta adam mayim. A person should not drink water. Loy min nahar is not from a river. Loy min agamim, and not from a meadow. I don't know, an agam. Balayla. I don't know if you should ever drink water from those places, but definitely don't drink from it at night. V'im shasa, and if you drink from it, dami b'raishay, your problem. V'nei sakana, because it's dangerous. My sakana. What's the sakana? Sakana shavriri. The sakana is this ruach or mazik or shade whose name is shavriri. Rashi says it's sanvarim, blindness. That's how the translation of sanvarim is shavriri. So you can cause blindness. V'itzachi. What happens if you're thirsty? What should you do? So if there's somebody else with you, le malay, so Nachum will let him say plani bar planta tzachich namaya. Planya bar plani is thirsty for water. And if you don't have anybody with you, so nema iu lenafshay planya amrali. So you should say the following: Planya amrali. So this person said to me, Imi. I'm sorry. Planya amrali imi. Nema ihu lenafshay or lema ihu lenafshay. He should say to himself, Planya amrali imi. My mother said to me, is dar mishavrir. Be careful from shavriri, shavriri, briri, riri, yiri, ri. And then tzachinamaya. Then you can drink the water. Bekasi chiyure, or he will drink the water. Bekasi chiyure. In a white cup. That's a lachash. That's what you say, and he disappears. What happened?
You can ask questions to these things.
You can ask. You can always ask questions. I don't know the answers, but you're knocking him out by taking his name and cutting it shorter. Like as he hears his name get smaller, so he like disappears. Okay, what's up? Exactly. No, that's what I thought of also. Now you're building it up. Here you're shrinking it. Okay. Done. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Let's go on. So the halacha is dal kaisus. You got to give a guy from tzedakah. You got to give from even if he's from the tamchoy. You got to make sure he's got dal kaisus. Afilu may. What does it say? Rashbam said even he got to take it off. He's got to sell a shirt for it. So it's more pshita. Well, he's got to do Abba Kaisis. Fascinating that the Gemara asks cheat on this. I couldn't understand that. Like, why is that pushing? I don't know. It's a Mr. Rabbanan. Like, who mechatesa? You got to sell your you got to. I mean, I think it's a fair point the mission needs to make that you got to give a guy dollar Kaisis. I don't know why it's so pshita, but the Gemara says it's pashita. You know why it's necessary? Even according to Rabbi Akiva. The Omar Rabbi Akiva holds Asay Shabbat Chachol. It's better to make your Shabbos like a weekday, but al titzarech lebrias, and don't ask anybody for money. That's Rabbi Akiva Shita. Asay Shabbat Chachol al titzarech lebrias. You don't borrow money for tzarech Shabbos.
Borrow or get
Or take money. Maybe you could borrow. You could be allowed to borrow. That's true. The Marshal, you're allowed to be loiva. You're allowed to borrow money, but even though you're not supposed to generally borrow money, you're allowed to borrow money. That is true. But he holds it's better not to collect money. I say Shabbat l'chol the tzarech l'briyos. So, but Haza here mishum persumi nisa, because of persumi nisa, he agrees that you are allowed to get money from the tamchoy. Tamchoy has got to give it to him. Mishum persumi nisa. Okay. Tana de Elio. And Elio's Beis Medrash they taught. Avapi she'amar Rabbi Akiva say Shabbat Chacham v'tetzarech lebriyos. Even though that's true, that is what Rabbi Akiva says. Aval oisu davrimut. Lamaisa, a person should work hard, save up some extra money, and therefore we should do at least something little for Shabbos. Aval oisu davrimut b'tech beisay. Even if he can't, he doesn't manage with nothing extra. He should save up during the week and screen, not spend so much during the week, but to save a little bit, so therefore he can do something extra on Shabbos. Mind you, what is that? Something small? Amar Papa, Kasa de Harshana, let it be some herring. Kedetnan, like the Mishnah taught us, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema Omer, have a oz kanamer, be bold like a leopard, v'kal kanesher, and light like an eagle, rutz katzvi, quick like a deer, the giber kari, and strong like a lion. Last year, so here we're focusing on, Rashi says, have a oz kanamer. Rashbam says, his chazik b'mitzvahs yoiser misheacheles biyodcha. That's what it means to be bold. Like a number, here we're learning that means to be mischazik b'mitzvahs yoiser misheacheles biyodcha. More than you think you're able to do, you should do when it comes to doing mitzvahs. That's what it means to be az kanamer.
What does that have to do with someone who can't afford it?
So he should save up during the week and spend less than he would like to. He should spend a little bit less, even though every day he doesn't have that, so he can spend a little bit extra on Shabbos. What is it? I think it's like a fish oil or something like that. It's fish oil with flour, I think, right? I think it's fish oil with. I think it's like fish fat with flour. No, they didn't give you the recipe there.
Yeah, it does.
I think that's what Kisikaza the Harson is. Herring, what? You're like schnitzel, little schnitzel fried. Then you put it in the flour, you coated it, and you fried it. A fish schnitzel, I'm saying, yeah. Alrighty. It sounds like Kisikaza the Harson to me. Okay. Ten Rabbanan. Ten Rabbanan. Shiva Dvarim, and we'll got a little some Gemaras about Rabbi Akiva here. Shiva Dvarim Tziva Rabbi Akiva as Rabbi Yehoshua Benai. 7 things Rabbi Akiva commanded his son Rabbi Yehoshua. Now Rashbam says this Rabbi Yehoshua is none other than Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha was the son of Rabbi Akiva, and they called him Karcha because he was bald. Places like that is ridiculous. There's no way they call Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha the son of a baldy. I mean, it's like embarrassing Rabbi. Look what he says. Look at the Taisus. See Rabbi Akiva as Rabbi Yehoshua ben Ai. Pirush Shbam to Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha. Rabbi Akiva Karecha. He was bald. K'aminan Shei ben Azei Aimer Kol Chacham Yisrael Dem L'Fanai Hiklipas Hashum. Rabbi ben Azei would say all the Chacham to me were like a garlic peel. Chutz min HaKareach Hazeh, except for this Kareach, except for this bald one. The ain't nearest. That's what he's saying. That it was Takachur. Rabbi Akiva was bald. But it says the ain't nearest. Yeah, Gemara Kairei Oisa ben Karcha. It doesn't make sense that the Gemara would call Rabbi Yehoshua, the son of the bald one, Derech Ganai, which is insulting. The kids who called Elisha the baldy, they got punished. The bears came out and ate them. Ben Azai was saying it as a joke, in a joking way. It wasn't. But for Chazal to call Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha, that's like a Ganai. He doesn't buy it. What is Taisus old? I don't know. And to Yehoshua ben Karcha, somebody else. But Rabbi Akiva also had a son whose name was Rabbi Yehoshua. So that's a machlekes. It's interesting. I don't know what the machlekes is. Like, is Ben Karcha a Ganai or not? I don't know. What? I'm saying so. What's the machlekes here between Taisus, Rashbam, and Taisus?
I remember hearing a Reuben saying that saying that Rabbi Akiva is guilty of Yaakov. He was smooth, so maybe it's like a shvach. You would say, I don't know.
I mean, it's a remnant. That's kishmak. Zev Mendel saying, I got to put it on record here, that maybe that he's calling bald. That's like a remiss to Adam Arishan. Adam Arishan. I'm trying to make you sound better, man. I'm with you. Right. He said that he was a rebbe to Yaakov Avinu, who was Ish Chalak, and we know that Shufrei the Yaakov was the Kain Shufrei the Adam Arishan, and Adam Arishan before he was Chayta, he was Taka all nail, right? That's mamish like Kareach. Maybe that's the remez, the Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha. Okay, Geschmack. And yeah, those didn't hold like that. Okay, Givaldik. Back to business here. So Rabbi Akiva told his son Rabbi Yehoshua 7 things. Here we go. Number 1, Beni, my son, al teshev begoiva shel ir v'tishna. Don't sit in the height of the city, meaning in a busy place, and sit and learn, because people are just going to bug you. So you're not going to be able to learn well. V'al tadur be'ir sherashel tamei chacham. Do not live in a city who the mayor is a Talmud Chacham. The people running the city are Talmud Chacham. Why? Because they're going to be busy learning. They're not going to be taking care of the city. So you don't want to live there. Don't walk into your house suddenly. You got to knock before you enter. And for sure, if you're going to your friend's house, because maybe they're doing things that require privacy. So make sure you knock before you enter. Make sure you always have shoes on your feet. Do not walk around barefoot. That is a very big ganai. Number whatever. Hashkem ve'achol b'kayitz. Wake up early and eat. In the summer, it'll help for the sun. It'll help from the heat, from the cold. Make your Shabbos weekday. Don't take money from others for that. And do business with someone who's doing well. The hour is laughing, smiling at him. Successful. That's the guy to do business with. Papa says, what does that mean? Laila mizumine. That doesn't mean you should buy from that guy. And don't sell to him, because he's just going to be making more money off of you. So that's not what it means. Try to get him to partner with you in a deal, and you'll be successful. That's what Papa said. It says they want to hashta. Now, Shmuel bar Yitzchak, my dechsiv. Shmuel Yitzchak said, I got this pasuk in Iyad that says, Ma'isa yadav berachta. Whatever he does, you blessed. So, kol hanoitel pruta me'iyav. Anybody who takes a pruta from Iyad, for whatever way, Mizbarach, he had a bracha in that. So if that's the pshat, and people mizdaven minei uzvuni leishapir dami. And even to do anything with a person who's being successful, that the Shaz Misachek is like, even to buy and sell from him will send bracha your way. Okay, a piece of advice. I'm sorry?
You ever tell your kid to look away from the street?
No, that's a good guy. That's a fair kasha. I mean, what was the everything has it needs a chiddush over here. There's got to be a chiddush. So which one are you bothered by? Don't live. Okay. He said, don't live in a place. Al tesha. Don't sit in a bagay v'shel ir. V'tishna and learn there. Makim shavnei ir oivin v'shavin. You have luchav. You have sukucha mishusachah. That sounds pretty obvious. Like, what was the chiddush? Why would you think you should be there? I don't know. Maybe you want to answer questions. You want to make yourself available. I don't know, but you have time for that and time for that. I mean, when you want to learn, don't sit in a place where people want to ask you shaylas. What's up? Right. I mean, there's a time for that too, but you can't be there all day. Maybe, I don't know. That's all right.
And also, waking up early in the morning with the cold. How's it help the cold?
Well, eating. Why does eating in the morning help you in the cold? I don't know. Hashkem v'achol. I assume because your body. I thought the opposite. I mean, I understand that if you eat, your body's ready to take on the cold. But when you eat, you get hot, and now you're just going to go into the sun. It'll be hotter. I was more bothered the other way. You said, okay, so then we have two answers. We have an answer for both. Okay. 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 That's Rabbi Akiva. Okay, weiter. Chamisha dvarim tziva Rabbi Akiva es Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Kishayechovash v'beis asurin. Wow, this is intense. So Rabbi Akiva was in jail. He was ready to put it in jail because he was teaching Torah in public. The Romans put him in jail, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came over to him, and Amar Leh, he said to him, Rebbe, lamdeini Torah. Rebbe, teach me Torah. I don't know how he got to him, but he got to Rabbi Shimon, he got to Rabbi Akiva. Maybe he's not like, I don't know if he was chovish b'beis asurim, and he said, Rebbe, teach me Torah. Amar, eini melamtcha, I'm not going to teach you anything. He said, I got thrown into jail for this. This is it's sakana. Amar Leh, im ein atam melamdeini, if you're not going to teach me Torah, ani omer lo Yechi Abba, I'm going to tell my father Yechi, u'misarcha l'malchus. Now, I'm not sure what the threat was if he was already in jail. I mean, he was going to he's going to give you over to the government. I thought that's why he was already like in that predicament. So I'm not sure what the threat was. Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wanted him to teach him Torah. And he said, I can't. No. Rabbi Akiva was in jail because he was talking to Yeshua and then he got killed. He was killed by the Romans. So he was in jail first. Amar Leh Bini, my son. That's how he was referring to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. More than a calf wants to nurse, para reitz lahanik. The para wants to feed, the cow wants to feed the child. So I trust you, man. I want to teach you more than you want to learn from me. Amar Leh. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said back to Rabbi Akiva, Umi b'sakana. Who's in danger? The ego b'sakana. The ego is in sakana. They say, okay, so I'm willing to risk it. Sorry? Oh, normally, if the eagle doesn't get nursed, he's going to die. The calf dies.
Out of jail, we'll get arrested for
Right, and that's it. So it's not me.
even if you don't accept it,
Well, he said, "What do you want from me?" So he said, "Amar Leh," he says to him. He gave in, and he taught him. He said, "Im bikashta lichanek." If you want to be hanged or strangled, hayitle be'ilan gadol. Hang on a tall tree. You'll die faster. What in the world is he telling him? So that was what he said, but what he was telling I'm not exactly sure how the mashal fits the nimshal. Third line from the bottom in the Rashbam. If you want to say something that people will be makabel from it, so hang it on a tall tree. Say it over in the name of a big gadol. Mishum de nakat lishna de chanika nakat hayitla be'ilan. Limud b'fnei rav ve'amar shmu'asa b'shmai. If you want people to listen to you, so learn by a big gadol, and then say over his Torah in his name, and people will listen to you. All right, what's the greatest? Right, there's a new sefer called. It's the red ones. I have it in the front here. Devar Halacha. I forgot what it's called. That's okay. It's written by a guy, Daniel Kleinman. Very fine young man, and he brings over the whole sefer. I mean, he did an amazing job. But what made it super popular? Because it says Sakei Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky. Right? So he was saying that these are the Pesachim from Rav Shmuel. So people want to hear what Rav Shmuel has to say. So he did a phenomenal job. I'm sure to say, and he has some Pesachim in there from Rav Shmuel. But he branded it as the Pesachim of Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky, and he became a best-selling author. So that's just where you see that happening. It's called Kavitz Halachas. That's what it's called. Kavitz Halachas. It's a great sefer. Anyway, this person he wrote a sefer and he brought down Pesachim halacha from Shmuel Kamenetsky, and that's how it's titled. Right. So he did what the Gemara says. He learned by Adam Gadol, and then he said over halachas in his name, and he became a best-selling author. Right? Any book that was published when Reb Chaim Kanevsky was alive, almost every book said with the Pesachim from Reb Chaim Kanevsky on it. People wanted to hear it. People want to see it. Anyway, that's the first piece of advice he gives them. If you want people to listen to you, learn by a Rav Gadol, a Rav, and say over halachas in his name. Okay, that's number one. Number 2, ukisha'atem elamed is bincha, when you teach your son, lamdu misefer muga, make sure the book you use is correctly edited. It doesn't have any mistakes. Oh, Mahi, what is he referring to? Amaravavi, Tamarav Misharshia, Bechadata means a new book. It's got to be new. No mistakes in it. Because Shabeshta, a mistake, even though, once a mistake goes in, it's in. It's very hard to get out. So therefore, in a kid, when you teach a kid something incorrect the first time, very hard to correct that mistake. So make sure you use a book that is it's new. I'm sorry, Bechadata means when a kid's young. I read that a little bit wrong. So make sure you have a correct version. And they're saying Bechadata when you're teaching them something new. When you're starting to learn something fresh, make sure you get it correct the first time. Because Shabeshta, even the Okay. Now, next. Don't cook in a pot that your friend cooked in. What's that? As a mashal for what? My new says the Gemara. What's that referring to? Grusha b'chay bala, to divorced woman while her husband's still alive. Don't marry the Amar. What's the issue? The Amar garush shenasa grusha arba deyos bamita. When you have a divorcee marrying the woman who's divorced, so you got 4 opinions in bed. Or arba deyos, each one's thinking about the other one in bed. So that's not good. By Sema, others say, Afilu ba'almana, even by an almana, you would say the same thing. Lavisha ain't called by Shabbos because not everybody Aver is the same, and therefore she'll be thinking about her husband, her original husband. Okay, let's just finish this off. Mitzvah v'guf gadol. If you want to get a mitzvah and have, and you want to make money. What can you do? You can do a mitzvah and make money. So he says, Oichel Peres, V'loi, it should be with a lamed vav, lamed vav, V'loi schar. Meaning, lend somebody money, so you're doing a mitzvah, and then eat the fruit, you should be eat the fruit of the field, and take off a little bit from what he has to pay you back. So, take a look at Rashbam, 3 lines from the bottom, on the right side where they are. Rashbam says, so you lend money to your friend, and you take karka as collateral, but you take the karka lachol peres. And you subtract a little bit for whatever you're getting. Mu'min adam k'mashkanta desura. That's a sugya in Bava Metzia. Vayin revach gadol. You're making a lot of money. The gam mitzvah sheish lo levis schar revach shetzarach l'mayis schayra. Why it's not ribbis? That's the Gemara talks about there. That what's going on? Okay, so that's a mitzvah v'guf gadol. You get a mitzvah and you're making money. What about if you want a mitzvah v'guf tar? You want a mitzvah, you want to keep your body tar? So nice isha, get married, v'loy banim, and have children. So then you'll have a mitzvah and you'll have a guf tar. All righty. Good job, everybody. We're back to some more Agarata, it looks like. And we'll meet on Shabbos an hour before Mincha. And we will do Kuf Yud Beis Amud Beis and Kuf Yud Gimel. Enjoy your Friday. We'll see you back Shabbos. I don't know what we're going to do, Purim, but we'll figure it out.